Admiral Zeftai of the Hegemony Third Fleet stood motionless on the bridge of his flagship, watching the tactical display with growing unease. The human homeworld of Earth hung before them like a blue-green jewel, silent and seemingly lifeless. No energy signatures, no defensive grids, no desperate transmissions begging for mercy. It had been 300 cycles since the Great Purge, when the galactic hegemony had declared humanity a threat to civilized space. The humans had been persistent, annoying in their refusal to submit to proper galactic order. Their ships were crude, their technology inferior, their military doctrine laughably primitive. They fought with projectile weapons while the galaxy had moved to plasma. They used nuclear fusion when antimatter was the standard, yet somehow they had held out for nearly a century. "Sir," reported Navigation Officer Kelthan, his mandibles clicking nervously. "Long-range sensors confirm no orbital defenses, no ships in system. The planet appears dead." Zeftai's four eyes narrowed. The final human strongholds had fallen 50 cycles ago. Intelligence reported their last colony ships destroyed, their military scattered and broken. The pest species that had once spread across 47 star systems had finally been exterminated. So why did something feel wrong? "Begin planetary bombardment protocols," Zeftai ordered, his voice echoing across the bridge. "Reduce any remaining infrastructure to ash. The Council wants no trace of human civilization to remain." The fleet of 68 warships moved into bombardment formation. Particle beam arrays charged to full power, antimatter torpedoes loaded into firing tubes. It would be a simple matter to glass the entire planet's surface. That's when the first ship appeared. It materialized from seemingly empty space, emerging from what the humans called quantum shadow, a crude stealth technology the hegemony had dismissed as theoretical nonsense. The vessel was massive, easily twice the size of Zeftai's flagship, its hull a matte black that seemed to drink in starlight. Then another appeared, and another. Within moments, the human fleet had revealed itself, hundreds of ships forming, a perfect sphere around the hegemony forces, ships unlike anything in their intelligence reports. These weren't the ramshackle vessels with welded armor plating and jury-rigged weapons that humanity had fielded during the war. These were predators. "Impossible," whispered Tactical Officer Mirandar. "Our sensors show nothing. They're still invisible to our systems." Admiral Zeftai's secondary hearts began racing. "Open a channel. Demand their surrender." The main screen flickered to life, revealing a human female in a crisp military uniform. Her species' strange bilateral symmetry and single pair of eyes had always unsettled him, but there was something different about this one. Her gaze held the cold certainty of someone who had already won. "I am Admiral Chen of the Terran Defense Fleet," she said, her voice carrying across 300 cycles of rage and determination. "You are surrounded and outgunned. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded." Zeftai's mandibles spread in what his species considered laughter. "Human, your species is extinct. You field ancient technology. Our weapons can reduce your ships to component atoms." Admiral Chen smiled, that disturbing human expression that showed their predator heritage. "You're right about one thing. The humans you knew are extinct. We evolved." She gestured, and suddenly the tactical display lit up with impossible readings. The human ships weren't just using stealth technology. They were bending space-time itself, creating localized distortions that made targeting nearly impossible. Energy readings spiked beyond anything the hegemony had ever recorded. "You spent 300 cycles hunting us across the galaxy," Chen continued, "destroying our colonies, killing our families. You thought you were exterminating pests, but you know what happens when you don't kill every last pest?" The first human ship fired. The beam that lanced out wasn't plasma or particle energy. It was something that violated several fundamental laws of physics. It struck the hegemony cruiser Infinite Glory and simply unmade it. The massive warship didn't explode or melt. It ceased to exist, leaving behind only a perfect sphere of empty space. "They develop immunity," Chen finished. The battle that followed lasted exactly 11 minutes. The humans moved with impossible coordination, their ships dancing through Space like schools of Earth's extinct sharks. They had turned 3 centuries of running and hiding into the galaxy's most advanced military doctrine. Every time a hegemony ship targeted them, they simply stepped sideways through dimensions the hegemony couldn't even detect. Their weapons had evolved beyond conventional physics, reality itself bent to their will. Ships that had terrorized 100 species died like insects against a windshield. Zeftai watched his fleet dissolve around him, and finally understood. The humans' greatest weapon. It wasn't their technology or their tactics, it was their absolute refusal to stay dead. As his flagship's shields failed and human boarding pods attached to his hull, Admiral Chen's final words echoed across emergency frequencies to every hegemony world. You taught us that in this galaxy, only the strong survive. Thank you for the lesson. Now let us show you what 300 cycles of warfare evolution looks like when applied by a species that never learned how to quit. The Terran Defense Fleet had returned from the grave, and they brought with them the fury of every human who had ever died screaming under alien guns. The age of human extinction was over. The age of human dominance had begun.